Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Splatoon, Donkey Kong, Metroid, Mario Party, Pikmin, Toad, Pokken, Xenoblade. The Switch has just about every major Nintendo franchise, but there's a few glaring omissions, and one is larger than the galaxy around us. It's like that telescope is missing one big part of the universe on Switch, and I'm talking with the voice inside my head today to discuss this breaking Nintendo Switch rumor about Star Fox.
Man, there's a franchise that I hadn't thought about in a while.
Wow, that's what I was thinking to myself. Thought in the head, voice in the head. This comes from, well, this is actually kind of a convoluted start. So let me explain it to you, and then give me your take on Star Fox as a franchise. Would you want it back on Switch? Do you think it could do well on Switch? And then we're going to kind of talk about what it would need to do well in 2023, the modern era. So this rumor comes from two places, okay? One is from Necrophilippe, who is an indie Nintendo journalist, writer. I believe in, where is he located? Let me.
It is a Latin. No, it's not even Latin.
Brazilian. It's Brazilian. Okay.
I was gonna say Latin speaking, but Latin's a dead language. That's not what I'm talking about.
Voice in my head. You don't know your history or your geography.
Yeah.
It's Brazilian.
Yeah.
He posted about it, and so did Zippo, who we have referenced before. Now Zippo has been up and down, and I'd love to call in Silux. Silux, can you let us know if these people are legit? Send out your scanners and let me know if Zippo or Necrophilippe know what's up. Now, Necrophilippe says that he heard this from Liam, but then Liam says, like, no, I didn't tell you this. And then Necrophilippe says, I have my own sources. But regardless, let me tell you what's going on. Apparently, Nintendo is working on a new Star Fox game, and they have partnered with a third party to make this, okay? Necrophilippe mentions Ubisoft, and Zippo mentions a lot of different people, including Bandai Namco, Koei Tecmo, Ubisoft, Next Level Games, Q Games, Forever Entertainment, a bunch. And apparently, they're building a big Star Fox that is going to toe the line between sequel and reboot. So we've had talk about, remaster, about remake, about whole new game. But the kicker here is that it's tied into Nintendo's desire to expand like their multimedia empire. And so they'd be working on an animated Star Fox series, which is probably what supposedly Nintendo Pictures, the newly acquired studio, is working on, one of the projects. This cast of characters is ripe for this kind of thing. This cast of characters has been in cryostasis for a very long time, and this cast of characters has to come back at some point on the Switch, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that our lifetime is going to continue, and then we're just never going to see a Star Fox game again. Now, does it appear on this Switch? I don't know, probably, because it seems like the success of it makes it a ripe place for pretty much everything, because everything does better on Switch. Even Metroid managed to sell millions, and that game, that franchise doesn't traditionally sell very well. Star Fox, though, it sells better than Metroid traditionally. The last time we got a Star Fox game, it didn't go so hot.
Yeah. I think about Star Fox Grand Prix, the rumor that once was, the game that never came to be. But what I want to say about this rumor is, like, okay, on one hand, maybe there is intel out there that Nintendo is partnering up for Star Fox right now, and maybe the acquisition of Nintendo Pictures, maybe that has to play into some sort of leak. But I also want to say that some of these rumors, Gabe, where they're like, there's a Donkey Kong game in development, there's there's a Star Fox game in development, there's a Pikmin game it's kind of like low-hanging fruit. And so I do want to point that out. Like, if I was going to be a Nintendo leaker, which I'm not, this would be something that would be easy to say, especially for a franchise that, I mean, they had puppets. They made puppets out of these characters. We saw them. I saw them in person. Freaking E3 Star Fox puppets. But I think what's interesting here is, like, I do not want nor care about a remake, remaster of an already existing Star Fox game. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a reason why this is the franchise I've played the least. The games don't generally appeal to me a whole lot, especially not the older ones. So when they say remake/reboot, there's only one game that could be exciting whatsoever.
And that is where it starts to think and get exciting about, like, what could Star Fox be in the future? Let's say this game came out in 2023, 2024. I feel like they really should just really go into the spacefaring nature of these characters. Maybe even as a cast of characters, maybe even as a co-op game, but we want them to do some sort of like No Man's Sky mixed with Zelda, where you're going to multiple different planets. You're bringing back the Star Fox Adventures gameplay style, so it's like that sort of combat puzzle-solving gameplay as opposed to just ship combat. You could still have that as you go from place to place, but to really emphasize the sort of single-player Zelda style of this as opposed to just an on-rails plane simulator, which I personally think even on Switch does not have the highest of ceilings.
I agree with you. If it's on rails, I don't want it. There's been a lot of advancements in space battle gameplay since the days of Star Fox being a major franchise, right? We've seen things like Star Wars Squadron. I don't even like Star Wars, and that game is really, really fun to play. It's really good to look at. Why can't you do something like that on Switch? Obviously, graphically it won't be the same, but No Man's Sky's on Switch. So
it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like it's feasible. Why not take the best out of what's been done in this genre by others and mixed it with what works? Maybe even what works in one of your most successful franchises, like Zelda, like you mentioned. Star Fox Adventure, that style, that's the only way that I care about what a new Star Fox game looks like today or tomorrow or a year from now.
And I think if they do want to make this part of their multimedia empire, then leaning into the characters would be a great idea. I do think it's a fun cast, and sort of their chirps and their commentary was always a trademark of Star Fox. Why not have them be much more accessible? Why not have them be quest givers? Why not talk to them on your ship? Why not, make decisions with them? This is all very bold and maybe too Western for Nintendo, but this is the kind of game that could take a major leap in the way that Zelda took a major leap with Breath of the Wild. Do I think Nintendo would go that route? Probably not. I do think them talking about some sort of reboot remake is probably the way they go. And I just have to say, we already have Star Fox on the SNES online service and the N64 online service. We even have Star Fox 2 on the what is that? The SNES Mini, right?
Yeah.
So we don't need those games again. And I think if you want to sort of bring these characters back to a new audience and make them relevant for an animated series or a movie or a theme park ride, then you need to revitalize the gameplay and you need to double down on these characters. Falco and Fox and Slippy are all really cool. They have a presence in Smash Bros. They should have a presence in the next Mario Kart. And I would love to see this franchise be something that we're excited about, Gabe, because I think both of us can agree that over the 3DS and the DS and the Wii and all that, Star Fox, it was something like, okay, there's a Star Fox game coming out. What's next on the calendar? And I'd love for this franchise to grab me like it did back on the GameCube. I know some people do prefer the plain combat, but I thought Star Fox Adventures with Crystal and the Dinosaur Planet, I thought that was a neat game.
I have two things I want to get into. One, I just thought of another good example of what they could do with Star Fox. Guardians of the Galaxy, the game they came out, you're not flying around a whole lot, but the vibe is the same. You're going from planet to planet, and if you can take Star Fox and do that, but of course give you control from going from planet to planet, Guardians doesn't do that really, but that vibe, that aesthetic, that tone, perfect. And the other thing,
bellissimo.
The sad part is though, that we're far more likely to get a remake of Star Fox Zero than any of this cool stuff that we're talking about.
To me, the sliver of hope is if they are partnering with a third party. Look what Ubisoft did for Mario and Rabbids. Look how they made that very innovative and unlike something Nintendo probably would have done on their own. So if they are able to partner with a cool studio, to me, that would be Ubisoft again. Because like Bandai or Koei, I don't know. I don't feel like that is venturing too far outside of some games we already have. But if they did do something weird, like give it to Next Level even, or give it to Ubisoft, or somebody wholly different, that could yield maybe a really fun result. And I do want to say that Ubisoft made a game called Starlink. Now, Starlink was the dying vestiges of Toys of Life, but Starlink had Star Fox in it, and Starlink is not too bad. Like, Starlink is actually okay. And it mixes in like what could kind of be a really weird hybrid No Man's Sky Star Fox type game that I would be more into. Bring more Zelda stuff in, but I would be more into that than I would just like do a barrel roll.
Here's another good idea, to me at least. I'm patting myself on the back.
Man, this voice in my head is very a little arrogant today.
Yeah, today. Let me ask you a question. It's an easy question. Ubisoft has an upcoming game with Mario in it. Where does it take place?
The galaxy.
Where does Star Fox like to hang out?
The galaxy.
We had Donkey Kong be the central focus for DLC for the last Mario plus Rabbids. What if,
that
Zach?
would be sick.
What if the Rabbids, Rabbids Slippy?
Nintendo. They already did give them the assets for Starlink. So, oh my goodness, if that comes true, like I don't have some like, you know, childhood nostalgia for Star Fox and all that, but that would be amazing. I think that would be the perfect crossover. We always dreamed about like, oh, Zelda Rabbids. They didn't do that, but bringing in Star Fox would be insanely cool. Insanely cool.
That makes sense to me. And what if like we've seen before, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go off track here. We've seen before that signals just get mixed up a little bit with these types of rumors. We'll hear about something like we heard, hey, a new Mario Kart, but it ended up being DLC. So there's shades of truth in the leaks and rumors. But what if this is one of those instances where there's a shade of truth? There is new Star Fox stuff with a studio that isn't Nintendo, but it's DLC for Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Sparks of Hope. Oh, that would be so good. What a great idea, voice in my head, man. Really, really onto it today. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. Let me know what you think about Star Fox, this rumor. Silex, if you're out there. And until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. I honestly hope that Nintendo does bring this series back with some oomph. Like, that would be cool. I want every series. Kid Icarus. We also need that new Donkey Kong that people have rumored and still isn't here. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you all a lot. Thanks for watching. SwitchForce out.